My name is Satya Pramesi, one of the hosts of See Indonesia, a documentary where we travel across the archipelago in search of and to highlight the beauty of it all. From nature to culture to people and absolutely everything in between. Now, throughout my travels, I've learned many great things about this country, and yet there's still so much more to learn. And so, who better than to learn from than the man himself, Mr. Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy, Sandiaga Uno. Today we will be talking about several things, namely the projects undertaken by the ministry to develop the industry in Indonesia, as well as the prospects of recovery after the COVID-19 pandemic. So, Sandi, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me,
of
Messi.
course. I am more than happy to talk to you anytime. First of all, how are you doing? I saw you coming in earlier and you just came back, I think, from a run and I think a few basketball games as well.
Yeah, morning is always a good time for us to do some exercise, and we did some base run this morning and play some basketball. Also, it's the time that I spend with family because starting later in the morning, it will be back-to-back engagement until probably close to late in the evenings. And the routine has, this exercise routine has kept my fitness level and stamina that would be needed to recover the sector. It was badly hit by the pandemic. But I'm very intrigued with your last name, Messi, which is coinciding with the FIFA World Cup. So you must be a big fan of Argentina.
Actually, I'm not.
You're not. Okay.
I studied in the United Kingdom in Birmingham, so I am a massive fan of England.
Okay.
Who I hope will win the World Cup this year. Who are you a fan of? Who do you support?
My team has already packed their bags and went home, Germany. But now with Morocco just qualified into the last 8, it would be rooting the underdogs, the Morocco team. And I think because the ambassador's house is very close with me, so I just pass his house and I give him congratulations.
Yeah, it is quite interesting to see all the teams that have been surprising.
Yes.
You know, given the usual dominance by European teams like Germany, like Spain, and both of them are gone.
Both of them are gone, and there are a couple of surprise, Korea and Japan, although they didn't make it, but they show very strong sides, and I think it's going to be a revival of Asia and Africa, and it's also in concurrent theme in tourism as well, that the underdogs destinations are now coming up to support Bali, our primary destinations, and we have the 5 super priority destinations, and we have the tourism village. So it's a little bit like a World Cup.
Yeah, it's amazing to see, and I've actually been to one of the destinations in Likupang, where we saw the cottages, the homestays that were built made of wood, and they were just absolutely beautiful. And I think that, you know, staying in there, it certainly gives you a feeling of being part of the locals, you know, being completely down to earth, I should say. What do you think are the prospects of these 5 destinations, of these 5 super destinations, and what are your hopes for developing them in the future?
Well, we have invested a significant sum of commitment into these 5 super priority destinations. From Lake Toba, we built close to 8 new ports. We are reviving the public infrastructure space, roads. We're building airports, a brand new airports. We're dedicating 400 hectares of prime land for premium as well as people-based community tourism. So community-based tourism based on tourism villages are now the key revival of Lake Toba, Borobudur, Mandalika with the MotoGP. And Borobudur, we just now operating a brand new airport near the sites. Also in Labuan Bajo, which is now hits in particular with millennials, with the Komodo Islands and Likupang. You just went there for probably the best underwater experience. So we believe the next phase of the Indonesians' revival in tourism will focus still in Bali because it's top of mind, number one in the world. And if you would say the wonderful Indonesia brand, it always synonymous to Bali. But how we could offer additional experience based on quality and sustainability. And these 5 super priority destinations would be our offering, our basically top of the line, we would say, destinations for them to pick and choose to extend their holidays for foreign tourist arrival. And for the local domestic travelers, which is now the backbone of the industry, it also offers completely personalized, localized, customized, yet smaller in size type of tourism, which actually also segue into the creative economy scenery in this particular new destination. So all in all, we're looking in a very robust recovery. We're ahead of targets by almost double. We're targeting to receive about 3.6 million at the top range of foreign tourist arrivals. I think we're in a trajectory to hit around 5.2 million of foreign tourist arrivals. Revenue, $4.3 billion versus 1.7 billion at the max, so almost 3 times as well. And then the local or domestic tourist movement is now reaching close to 800, nearing 900 million before the end of the year. And this provides the backbone for some of these local destinations, tourism villages, community-based sort of like revivals, and the jobs. And it's very important because as a country, we lost more than 1 million jobs during the pandemic. With this revival of 2022, we're in the process of creating 1.1 million new jobs in the tourism and creative economy. So overall, not only the 5 super priority destinations, but across the board, the tourism sector have seen some robust recovery.
It's funny that you mentioned the jobs and empowering the communities, as well as creating a sustainable landscape within the tourism industry. Now, obviously, that is one of the many goals that's set by the Tourism and Creative Economy Ministry to be able to establish and develop this sustainable tourism industry. But for the people who haven't yet grasped the concept of what a sustainable tourism industry is, can you give them a little explanation as to what that is?
Well, you stayed at the tourism village near Likupang, which is 5 super priority destinations. A sustainable tourism is the type of tourism whereby you focus on the 3 Ps: the people, the planet, and the prosperity of not only the industries, the destinations, but the surrounding areas as well. So people, you provide jobs to the local communities. You're staying longer. because a typical tourism, you just come in and out, take pictures, and off you go to another destination. But typically you stay longer, so it brings more quality interactions with local communities. You take care of your waste, you don't trash the area, you engage in food loss and food waste type of activities, managing local culinaries and making sure the supply chain is being strengthened. You also take care of the environment and activities such as agrotourism, the activities such as planting mangrove trees near Likupang, and also immerse in local culture. And it's always nature and culture because the local culture is so rich, and you are impacting the local economies. You provide jobs, and you provide sustainability of that destinations to be able to not only survive post-pandemic, but also thrive. This is a type of tourism whereby it offers experience, memories, and also the long-lasting impact to the 3Ps. So typically you would stop at prosperity. So people, planet, and prosperity. We add 2 more Ps, peace and partnership. So it's a long-standing partnership. And the typical of 3S, sun, sea, and sand, that is so famous being offered by Indonesian destinations, we're adding another 3S, serenity, spirituality, and sustainability. So this type of new wave of trend of tourism is going to dominate the ecotourism, the sports tourism, loving the nature. We call it special interest tourism, whereby it's so customized according to what you prefer. And who are the targets? The millennials, the Gen Z. They are 55% of our market. And if you look at the focus by the government, not only we're focusing on the foreign tourist arrival, but also the experience for local domestic tourists that is increasing because of a large middle income brackets that's fast rising. This is an economy that is rising, one of the fastest in the G20 grouping. Along with India and Saudi Arabia, Indonesia is continuing to register plus 5% higher in terms of economic growth. So eventually, this middle class will require healing. They want to do vacationing. They want to do refreshing, and tourism will benefit from this revival.
Now, obviously, contributing to the local economy of these communities and also to give them a bit of exposure, it does tend to help to perhaps, like in your case, wearing locally crafted shoes and that out there, which I must say I love. But one interesting thing I found in this garden was that you actually bought chickens from a village in Cianjur. Can you tell me a little story about that?
Well, Cianjur is a beautiful district, and we developed one of the most promising tourism village that is located very close to this very ancient, prehistoric, even before Borobudur's a huge, probably 2 or 3 times the size of Borobudur, an ancient temple that is a site that is in restorations. And one of the local economies being supported is by this huge chicken. It's a rooster.
Okay.
It's this height. And they want to give it to me, and I said that I want to buy, because if you buy it, it actually improves and impact the local economy. So we bought a couple, and then after 3 months, now we start having eggs. So we're gonna have a family now raised based on a rooster that we bought from a tourism village in Cianjur. Beautiful sights, and I think this is going to be probably Borobudur 20 years from now. It's going to be huge. We're building infrastructures and also accommodations, and it will basically be going to be a very promising destination of Indonesian local products, Indonesian-made products, and bangga berwisata di Indonesia or di Indonesia aja. Proud to travel and do your vacationing in Indonesia.